what's known on the streets as a victim blamer.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Somebody come up to me like, Dave, Chris Brown just Rihanna. I'll be like, well, what did she do?
Hi everyone, it's Blue. Make sure you like and subscribe and go follow me on Patreon. It's only $5 a month and you get an extra video every week that I don't post here.
That was the most fantastic lovemaking you've ever had.
Not really, it only lasted
2 hours. That was a 2-hour love session. You had a big O in there, a very big O, but...
Today I'm going to be reacting to Dave Chappelle on R. Kelly and Michael Jackson.
This is the worst time ever to be a celebrity. You're gonna be finished. Everyone's doomed. Michael Jackson has been dead for 10 years, and this nigga has 2 new cases.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And if you haven't watched that documentary, then I'm begging you, don't watch it. It's gross. I felt like HBO was sticking baby d in my ears for 4 hours straight. Really nasty shit.
Oh.
I don't want to know all these things. Turns out, Michael Jackson allegedly likes a long gander at the anus. So they said he stares at people's buttholes. That's what they said. That's how gross the documentary was. I'm gonna say something that I'm not allowed to say.
Okay.
But I gotta be real. I don't believe these motherfuckers. I do not believe it.
Oh, wow, that is a strong statement.
Let me qualify the statement. I am what's known on the streets as a victim blamer.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Somebody come up to me like, Dave, Chris Brown just beat Rihanna. I'll be like, well, what did she do?
There's like that one guy in the audience that is not laughing.
Dave, Michael Jackson was molesting children. Well, what were those kids wearing at the time?
What?
I don't think he did it. But you know what? Even if he did do it, you know what I mean?
Wow.
You know what I mean? I mean, it's Michael Jackson.
I don't know what to say.
I know more than half the people in this room have been molested in their lives. But it wasn't no goddamn Michael Jackson, was it? This kid got his sucked by the king of pop. All we get is awkward Thanksgivings for the rest of our lives.
Oh my gosh.
You know how good it must have felt to go to school the next day after that? Hey, Billy, how was the weekend? How was my weekend? Michael Jackson sucks my...
Oh my gosh.
And that was my first sexual experience. If I'm starting here, then sky's the limit.
He's walking this line fearlessly, by the way. Clearly, like no fear. That people don't even want to look at. People don't even want to look at this line. They don't want to talk about it. And he's just like over there playing on it, juggling fire. He's talked about cancel culture before on its own topic. And now he's talking about this whole other thing that it sounds, maybe feels similar, like a similar tone of, you know, people go after celebrities and it's really hard to, you know, fight against that because it's everybody against one celebrity, whether it's like a cancel thing or, this is an example, anybody nowadays can kind of just accuse somebody, I guess, in his mind, and it becomes a thing. I mean, Michael Jackson was a very interesting example because if this person's even dead and they're still coming out with documentaries and like cases, it plays in the fact of making it being able to sound like a joke because it sounds ridiculous. Like, how is this person who's dead getting accused? But at the same time, you don't want to like say, the average person doesn't want to say that, so.
I know it seems harsh, but man, somebody's got to teach these kids. There's no such thing as a free trip to Hawaii. Yeah, he's gonna want to look at your butt or something.
So risky.
You know why I don't believe it? You know why I don't believe it? Because if Michael Jackson's out here doing all this molesting, then why not Macaulay Culkin? Macaulay Culkin said in an interview that Michael Jackson never did anything inappropriate with him or even around him. Think about that shit. You know, I'm not a pedophile.
Oh.
But if I was...
Listen.
Macaulay Culkin's the first kid. I'll tell you that right now.
How could you say this?
I'd be a goddamn hero. Hey, that guy over there, the kid from Home Alone. And you know how hard he is to catch.
What?
My mind's telling me no.
Ooh, I heard some boos.
Okay, R. Kelly is different. I mean, you know, if I'm a betting man, I'm gonna put my money on he probably did that.
And then you pull it back in.
I'm pretty sure he did that. You know, it's bad, okay? So a couple years ago, I was doing a show in Detroit, and I'm sitting backstage in my dressing room. A friend of mine comes by, this chick, Dream Hampton. Dream tells me, right before I'm going on stage, she goes, Dave, I'm working on a documentary about R. Kelly. Would you like to be in it? And I was like, nah, bitch, I'm cool. I went on stage, I just forgot about the shit. And then 2 years later, the documentary comes out, Surviving R. Kelly. And when it comes out, Dream's promoting it, and she keeps bringing me up. She said, I asked Dave Chappelle to be in my documentary, and he said it was too hot for TV. Bitch, I did not say that. It does not even sound like how I talk. Oh, that's too hot for TV? I would never say that shit.
It's too hot for TV. Awkward.
But I'm going to tell you guys why I wasn't in the documentary. There's a very simple reason, and I cannot stress this point enough. The only reason that I didn't do it was because, and it's very important, I don't know this nigga at all. I don't know anything. I don't know anything that they don't tell me about. I don't hang out with this nigga. Nothing. So what the do I gotta be in the documentary for?
It's a very good point. I mean, if somebody were to ever ask me to be in a documentary about some YouTuber or something and I don't really know them, you probably automatically want to kind of just like step away from that rather than try to like be out there and get, I don't know, attention or clout. I don't know what the word would be. It's probably just safer in case anything ever in the future surfaces. It's scary to back people you don't know or say things about people that you don't know that may be even negative. One example is actually the Jussie Smollett situation. I actually had that reaction on my Patreon if you want to go like check that out. But he kind of talked about what he's talking about there as well, which is everybody jumps on a bandwagon and then, you know, you find out at the end that's not how it was and how do you feel now? And I just personally would never want to be in that situation, so it was smart of him to avoid it. I was thinking of the name too, Macaulay Culkin. I was like, why is that so familiar? And then I felt like such an idiot because I was like, duh, I just watched a video that referenced Home Alone. I'm so dumb. But yeah, it was hilarious because he's making a joke. I can't even repeat it. I feel like even me repeating it and saying that I find it funny, I would risk getting canceled. That's how serious this is. Like, you can't make jokes like that, but he does. And he gets away with it. And he's on stage, on TV. Like, it's just so shocking that it's almost like he has this power that like no one else has and he can just say things, and it's really weird because you could hear somebody in a bar make that joke and it might even be like, you think that's funny? Like, you might even automatically just think like, okay, well, they like little boys, like, and move on with your day. But you don't really think that about Dave Chappelle. You just know he's joking.
This guy R. Kelly got another to say about now. Can you believe that? This guy makes more tapes than he does music. He's like the DJ Khaled of tapes. Another one. Like, damn, man. It's a lot of tapes. The new one's so bad that they didn't even show it. I've never seen anything like this. The prosecutor in Chicago came out in a press conference and read to the media a transcript of a tape. Have you ever heard of such a thing? This nigga read the tape. And it was so bad that R. Kelly sounded guilty in the transcripts. It's amazing. 16 times the girl's age was mentioned. Isn't that crazy? This motherfucker is an idiot. He was fucking like, yeah, this is the best 14-year-old I've ever had in my life. And she was like, you like this 14-year-old? Like, oh yeah, I love this 14. I'm like, man, you need to shut the fuck up. You gotta give your lawyer something to work with. You're supposed to be on the tape like, this is the best 36-year-old I've ever had in my life. And then your lawyer gonna be like, Your Honor, clearly my client thought that this woman was 36, as he mentioned some 16 times in the tape. They gonna know you lying though, you know what I mean? Everybody knows no such thing as good 36-year-old pussy.
He runs off stage. I feel like it kind of reminds me of like a magician. You're watching a magician and you know at the end of the day that magic's not real. You're trying to see how they're doing their trick. You try to watch how they're doing it, where they're going with it. What illusion are they pulling on you? But, you know, most of the time they still get to some end result and you're still shocked. Like, oh my gosh, how did you do that? And it's crazy because even if you feel like you know, okay, he has to be going here with this, or that's what he's saying, you still don't really know where he's going with it. Like, what could you possibly turn this into? What punchline could you make out of what you're saying right now? But he pulls it off every time. And it's not even just like a punchline or he finishes or gets to the end. It always has that shock value of like, oh my God, that's so clever. And it just pieces together really, really nicely to make it seem like he really does have to just write the punchline first and work his way backwards. That is, I guess, going to be it for today. Make sure you like and subscribe and share if you haven't already. Go check out my Patreon for more content like Dave Chappelle that I can't always post on YouTube. And that's going to be it. Thank you so much for watching.